பல்லாவரம் ஃபோக்கஸ் மென்ஸ்வேர் இப்போது மேடவாக்கத்திலும் ஓப்பனிங் ஆஃபர் டி-ஷர்ட் வெறும் 19, ஷர்ட்ஸ் 79 மற்றும் அனைத்து ஆடைகளும் 799க்குள் கிடைக்கும்.
That's how she directs also. எல்லாம் சொல்லிட்டு திடீர்னு இங்கேருந்து எங்கேருந்து எடுத்து சொல்லுவா. நீ எங்கேருந்து எடுத்து சொல்ற என்ன புரியுது? No, this is how we have to go. You know this. Okay, one more அப்படின்ட்டு போயிட்டே இருப்பா.
One more ன்னு சொல்லிட்டு போயிடுவேன்.
One more தான்.
Hello everyone, welcome to Galatta Plus, and we're doing this interview for Sweet Karam Coffee created by Reshma Katala, who is not with us at the moment. So we have to make do with this bunch. Hopefully we can. Lakshmi ma'am, I have to start this with you, and I know, automatically the fact that I'm saying ma'am is a big thing for me, because it always makes me feel like a school teacher when I'm saying somebody like ma'am. It's as if I'm addressing a school teacher, but you just command that respect because you're such a legend. And I want to begin with this because in the 70s, this show is being celebrated as a women-centric show, and so many shows these days are being celebrated as women-centric show. But in the 70s, you had two remarkable films, which is Oru Nadigai Nadagam Paarkiraal and Sila Nerangalil Sila Manidargal, which are even today like outstandingly path-breaking in terms of how they depicted women and the individuality and the prickliness and the like, you don't have to show a woman a certain way, that kind of a thing. And of course, Adu Thavara, there was the Balchandra films, there was Avalapaditan, there was so many films that kind of celebrated women as individual species. Why did that slowly over the years, come down? Like something happened then, and then slowly, it became a more male-centric film universe. Why was that?
It happens. ஜாக்கெட் இங்க போட்டுக்கிறோம், அப்புறம் இங்க போடுறோம், திருப்பி வந்துடும் ஃபேஷன்.
அவ்வளவுதானா?
எல்லாமே
Yeah, that's like a very simple analogy though.
சிம்பிள். ஏன்னா அவ்வளவுதான். ஜனங்களுக்கு
தியரியே இல்லையா? தியரியே இல்லையா அதுக்கு?
அப்படிலாம் கிடையாது. அதே நேரத்துல நீங்க இது நல்லா இருக்குன்னு கொண்டு வந்து கொடுத்தீங்கன்னா நல்லா இருக்கும். அதனால தான் நாங்க உடைச்சு கொண்டு பியூட்டிஃபுல்லா நாங்க கொடுத்துருக்கோமே. இப்போ இந்த பிளாட்ஃபார்ம்ல நாங்க கொண்டு வந்து கொடுத்துருக்கோம். அதுக்காக அடுத்தது மறுபடியும் இதே மாதிரி எடுப்பாங்கன்னு சொல்ல முடியாது. நீங்க அதாவது ஜனங்கள் என்னன்னா ஒன்று நல்லா இருந்ததுன்னா அதை கொடுத்தா அடுத்ததும் அதே மாதிரி குதிரை நினச்சிட்டு ஓட்டி விடுவாங்க. அது எங்கேயா ஃபெயிலியர் ஆச்சுன்னா இதாகும். இன்னொன்று காலகட்டம் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா ஒரு குறிப்பிட்ட காலகட்டத்தில் ஃபேமிலியாக போய் படம் பார்த்துட்டு இருந்தாங்க. அதுக்கப்புறம் ஒரு லெவலுக்கு அப்புறமா இந்த விடலை பசங்களை நம்பியே தான் தியேட்டர் ஓடிட்டு இருக்கு. ஏன்னா அந்த பசங்க தான் அந்த படம் பார்க்கணும், யூத்தை நம்பி தான். அப்புறம் இந்த லவர்ஸ்க்கு போகிறதுக்கும் தியேட்டர் தான். அதுக்கு அப்போல்லாம் வேற இடங்கள் இல்லை. எமரல்டு, ப்ளூ டைமண்ட்ஸ், பல இது இருந்தது. அவங்களுக்கு போகிறதுக்குன்னு சொல்லி போயிட்டு இருந்தது. அந்த மாதிரி வேரியேஷன் கொடுத்தாதான் சினிமாவே. நீங்கள் ஒரே மாதிரி ஏன் இது மாதிரி ஏன் கொடுக்கல, அது மாதிரி ஏன் கொடுக்கலன்னு கேட்கவே முடியாது. எந்த குதிரை ஓடும்னு சொல்ல முடியாது. நல்லா இருக்கு, ஆனால் எங்கள் குதிரை கண்டிப்பாக ஓடும். இது வித்தியாசமான மேட்டரை நாங்கள் திருப்பி கொண்டு வந்துட்டோம்.
That's a very practical answer. I wanted something very emotional, like saying that, oh my God, ஏன் நடக்கல அந்த மாதிரி, or something like that.
ஏன் நடக்கலன்னு நம்ம எமோஷனலா ஃபீல் பண்ணக்கூடாது, நம்ம நடத்திடலாமே. அதுதானே லைஃப்.
Right, and you also delivered a punch dialogue there, so that's very nice along with the rest of it. So yeah, so coming to you guys, the directors, how did the three of you gel? I mean, like I've always been curious about, because okay, yes, there is Reshma's voice guiding the show, but Adukku Miri, there's there's three people, you have different sensibilities. How do you?
We definitely had discussions, but even before, it's only because the material spoke to each of us that we came in, and the what the script is trying to say or where it's going towards is something that we were all interested in.
Right.
So we were all on the same page with regards to being excited about this story, and the primacy of this entire thing is a story.
Right.
That's the material is on top of everything else. And adukku definitely there is an individual voice that will come because it's coming through our lens.
Right.
And you can't be completely devoid of your own whatever flavor that you are giving that. And in the story also helped that his bookends, Bejoy does the bookends, and that it had its own world. And என்னோடது வந்து episode 2 to 4 was in a certain fashion where they're first stepping out of their usual environment.
Right.
And that had a specific movement, and then it changes at one point, and that time I hand over the baton to him. So in the கதையிலையும் அப்படி அமைஞ்சது. But initially, when we were discussing, we had a certain amount of discussion about the look, the camera that we're going to use, the lens, because obviously we all have to agree on, yes, this speaks to us.
Yeah.
No, and this is this is a way that we can deliver this story. Definitely we had a discussion about that.
Okay. Krishna?
I think this follows the hero's journey format, where Bejoy took the major starting and ending, which is similar situations, but the character has changed. And she takes over the initial struggles, and I took over the parts where the main conflicts come to an end or come to confrontation or resolutions. So that way we weren't in each other's way on a theme level at all. But it also follows the showrunner model where there is one person keeping track of the whole thing. So Reshma's voice is the most, it's not just a writer voice, it's also right from hiring Bejoy for 1 and 8, me for 5, 6, 7, and
Yeah.
for 2, 3,
Oh, that
4.
was a plan.
Yeah, that everything
It
was.
worked. I think, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I think it was a very much a planned thing and worked out for the good.
Right,
So,
right.
yeah.
So, Bejoy, the person I least expected to see in this lineup, you know, what did you do?
Did you do
What
it?
did I do? Yeah. Well, that's one of the main reasons I decided to do it also, because it's not something that it was completely out of my comfort zone. It's not something that I've ever done. But when Reshma called me for this and said that this is the kind of story she wanted me to be part of, I heard the entire story. It was on a phone call. I heard it out, and I told her, I'm sending you an email. I'm sending you a mail of a script that I had written many years back, which is about a bunch of women going on a road trip. So I had written something long time back, and I never got a chance to make it. And now you're giving me something which is very similar in spirit. So I said that I'll definitely grab this opportunity to do it. But when I came in, I had no idea. I had no idea how she had planned it, what she wanted me to do. So she welcomed me into that process, and I had a lot of reservations initially, but I can tell you that every step of the way, she has been so welcoming with, and all the arguments and the discussions were so healthy. Like if I was able to convince her on something, she would let me do it, and vice versa, you know. And,
Right.
and there was something that I was so adamant on, but she managed to talk me out of it, and she told me how she's looking at it. So I think tonally we were all trying to get on the same page, so
Right.
that it feels like one unit. So
Nice.
it was a very interesting process. I very collaborative, and I really enjoyed it.
As actors, how did you guys gel? Was there a period of like a rehearsal period or a table read or you just jumped in and said, we're getting along as a family and this is what we do. This is
We had one table read or two table reads, which I'm very reluctant. Of course, reading, I think now that I've become a little bit serious actor, so I think reading
what?
is...
Now you become a really good serious actor.
Back in the day, there was no readings and no workshops, and it's not my process. Because I feel I cannot hold on to that, something that I feel spontaneously. I don't like to feel in a workshop. So I never gave it a lot of importance. But I have understood the importance of reading. It's better to know your directors, what they think, what they want, and also read the script a few times so you get familiar. So it's not about memorizing your lines, but you know that characterization becomes you. So it is important, and we did that. 2-3 readings we did that, and I got introduced to Lakshmi Auntie. So Lakshmi Auntie has got such a huge stature, so you don't want to be intimidated by such personality when you walk in. You don't want to have any kind of inner conflict or ego. So when you are introduced on a platform like that, you meet for reading, you break the ice, and then you see the person and you see a lot of lovely things, and when you go back to the set with the makeup on, you go with that, you know who you're working with and who you're going to see. So that really helped me. And then coming to the set, Lakshmi Auntie, she could have, I think it's a maturity and her largesse, that she just didn't have any of those airs of a senior actor and all of that. She just welcomed all of us very beautifully inside. And Kaveri being the role of my heart, it was very easy to feel it and not be affected by many others. And just the energy sharing with Nivi and Auntie was just pure love. So we just hit it off from the beginning itself, from the day one. Actually, I would take the liberty of saying that.
Yeah, she called you by your character
Correct.
name.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
how.
You know,
Good catch.
not by your name, you
Yeah.
know.
We just haven't changed our name in the phone.
Oh, she's still Nivi, is it? Okay. So, what was it like playing a cricketer? Are you a cricketer?
No, I'm not. So that's one major point of departure, like, you know, when it comes to my character and myself. Nivi is extremely sporty, very passionate about cricket, and I'm not sporty at all. I've been more into academics all my life. So that was interesting to play. And, you know, like, she's at the stage in her life where she has to make a big decision. And this trip is a way of escaping that for a while. And yeah, I mean, it was an opportunity to work with these exceptional ladies who are extraordinarily talented. Yes, of course, but on screen, I mean, and they are wonderful human beings as well. So I had a whale of a time. I got to work with some really talented members of the crew and an excellent supporting cast as well. So it was exciting for me because I'd never done a long format show before. And most of the work that I've done in films, I mean, I tend to think of the characters I've played as catalyst characters, those who come in and at a key point, you know, shift the narrative in a certain way, but are not taking the story forward throughout. Whereas here, that's what I got to do. I got to travel with these other characters from the beginning till the end. So that was very exciting for me.
Right. You know, this is your first long format show. Was there any adjustment at all that you had to do, or was it just acting like always? Get the lines, memorize them, get into character. That's the whole thing. Okay.
சிம்பிள் எல்கேஜி ஸ்டூடெண்ட் மாதிரி நம்ம எங்களோட ஸ்டேஜில் சொல்லணுன்னா தட் ஸ்லேட் பல்பம் எடுத்துன்னு போய் டீச்சர்கிட்ட கொடுத்தோடனே தே வில் ட்ரா ஆ இல்லைன்னா ஏ கம் பேக் டூ தட் தட்ஸ் ஆல் வி ஹவ் லேர்ன்ட்
Okay.
வி ஹவ் ஹை தட் அந்த மாதிரி போயாச்சுன்னா லைஃப் இஸ் பியூட்டிஃபுல்
Right.
யூ வில் பி சக்ஸஸ்ஃபுல். சும்மா எனக்கு தெரியும் நான் இதை நல்லாவே பண்ணுவேன், அது வந்து கான்ஃபிடென்ஸ், நான் நல்லா பண்ணுவேங்கிற கான்ஃபிடென்ஸ் இஸ் டிஃப்ரெண்ட். எனக்கு தெரியும் அப்படின்னு போனால் முடிஞ்சு போச்சு. ஆனால் ஒன்று, இந்த 3 டைரக்டர்ஸுமே 3 விதம். எனக்கு தெரியும்னு நாங்கள் போகவே முடியாது, உனக்கு தெரியாது அப்படின்னு முதல்ல சொல்லி எங்களை மாற்றி சரி பண்ணிடுவாங்க. தீஸ் 3 ஆர் லைக் தட். த டோட்டலி டிஃப்ரெண்ட்.
Right. In terms of explaining things, அந்த மாதிரி.
எக்ஸ்பிளைனிங் திங்ஸ், ஹேண்ட்லிங் அஸ் அண்ட் அப்ரோச்சிங் த ஸ்கிரிப்ட். பட் எல்லாம் கடைசியில் போய் ரேஷ்மாட்ட கரெக்டாக உட்காந்துரும். அது எப்படி உட்காருன்னு தெரியாது. பட் வி ஹாவ் டு சே ஹேட்ஸ் ஆஃப் டு ரேஷ்மா. ஷி யூஸ் டு ஹேண்டில் மெனி திங்ஸ் அண்ட் ஷி யூஸ் டு ஹேண்டில் த கம்ப்யூட்டர் உட்காந்து அடிச்சுன்னே இருப்பா. And I never seen her getting angry, but such a strong person.
Yeah.
She sees to that, her will, her idea happens there. Whatever it is, she has so much of patience. ஒரு ப்ரொடியூசருக்கு அப்போ தான் நான் யோசித்தேன், தட் ரியல் ஸ்ட்ராங் ப்ரொடியூசர்னா ரஷ்மா தான். ஏன்னா என்ன கோவம் வந்தாலும் என்ன வந்தாலும் ஷீ வில் ஹேண்டில் எவ்ரிபடி. ஒரு நாளைக்கு ஷீ வில் பி டாக்கிங் சம்திங் அண்ட் ஐல் பி சேயிங் நோ ஐ கான்ட் டூ இட், ஐ எம் நாட் ஹியர், ஐ எம் இன் சம் அதர் பிளேஸ், வர முடியாது. ஓகே மேம், வில் ட்ரை டு டூ. அதே
never left the ma'am.
அது மாத்திரம் விடவே மாட்டா. நோ மேம், ஐ கம் மேம். ஏன்னா ஐ நோ தட் ஷீ யூஸ் டு கால் மீ ஆண்டி அண்ட் ஆல் சம்டைம்ஸ் பிகாஸ் her mother was quite close to me. அதெல்லாம் முடிஞ்சு அந்த அந்த ஒரு மார்ஜினை வச்சுட்டு நான் என்ன செய்யணும் அப்படிங்கிறது கரெக்டாக செய்கிற ஒரு பர்சன். அவளை பார்த்தோன்னே நினச்சேன், நம்ம பசங்கள்லாம் இவ்வளோ கெட்டிக்காரங்களா ஆயிட்டாங்க, நம்ம முட்டாளாக இருக்கக்கூடாது. அதனால் நம்ம கரெக்டாக வி ஷுட் பி ஒபீடியன்ட் வாட் வி ஹேவ் டு டூ இட்னு கரெக்டாக தட்டி எடுத்துருவா. இதுதான் வேணும், இது வேண்டான்னா கரெக்டாக எடுப்பாவோ அவங்க. சாரி, ப்ரொடியூசர் அவங்கன்றதுனால நம்ம டைரக்டர்ஸ் அது அடுத்த ஸ்டேஜ். நாங்கள் எல்லாருமே ஒன் வே வந்து பாண்டட் லேபர் மாதிரி. எஸ் சார் சொல்லுங்க, என்ன சொல்றீங்களோ நாங்கள் பண்ணி லேபர். என்ன சொல்றீங்களோ நாங்கள் செய்கிறோம். வி ஆர் ஹியர் ஃபார் அ ரோட் ட்ரிப். இன் தட் ப்ராசஸ் எங்களை நாங்களும் வாழ்ந்துக்கணும், நாங்களும் சிரிச்சுக்கணும். இந்த ரோட் ட்ரிப்பில், இந்த வெப் சீரியஸில் நான் சிரிச்ச மாதிரி சந்தோஷமா இனிமேல் எதிர்காலத்தில் வந்து இதே 2வது எடுத்தால் தான் சிரிப்பேன்னு நினைக்கிறேன். ஏன்னா நாங்கள் எங்கள் 3 பேரோட பாண்டேஜ் அப்படி இருந்தது. ரொம்ப சந்தோஷமா இருந்தோம். அப்படி ரியல் பாண்டேஜ்.
பாண்டேஜ் இல்லை, பாண்டிங்.
பாண்டிங், சாரி, பாண்டேஜ் இல்லை நான். ஏய் பேண்டேஜ், ரியல் பேண்டேஜ். நம்ம அப்படியே நம்ம பாண்டிங் வேறவா ரியல். அப்படி ஒரு பேண்டேஜ் போட்டு நாங்கள் ஒட்டின்ட்டோம். அப்படியே நாங்கள் எங்களோட, அதாவது எவ்வளோ ஒரு ஒபீடியன்ட் ஸ்டூடெண்ட்ஸாக இருந்தோம்னா நாங்கள் எல்லாருமே எங்களோட வயசை மறந்துட்டோம். என்ன டீச்சர்ஸ் சொல்கிறாங்களோ கேட்டோம், போனோம், நடித்தோம், நாங்கள் வந்துட்டோம். அதை நீங்கள் ஃபாலோ பண்ணால் ஐ திங்க் எவ்ரி திங் வில் பி சக்ஸஸ்ஃபுல்.
Right. Now, a question to you and Madhu. Now, when you, of course, from the late 60s and you from the
80s.
90s?
90s.
90s, right? Aragon was
90s.
90s. So, you know, you come from certain schools, not school necessarily, but at a time when acting was maybe pitched a little at a different level or a meter or something like that. Now things are a little bit different. Of course, as an actor, it is your job to adapt to different things. But can you tell me a little bit about that adaptation process? Was it like did you have to do anything different at all, or?
Like Auntie says, you should never come to the set thinking that I know it.
Right.
You come open so you can take it in. And I have this very strange experience. I did a film, when I came back, I did a film called Love You Mr. Kalakar in Hindi. And my children were in school and they went from school to see the movie in the theatre. And my daughter was maybe 10 or 12 or something like that. She came back and said, Mama, you're a very old-fashioned actor. And that hit me because I always thought of myself that, oh, na correcta pannidven, I'm good at it. Appadinda or feeling. When my daughter came and said, because at that time we had the generation like Preeti Zinta, Priyanka Chopra was new in. So they were all big fans of those Krish movies. When my daughter came back home from school and said, you're an old-time actor, it was like a slap on my face. I knew that there was something not right because she was right, you know. So when I started going back, I don't do what I know. So there's the process of unlearning. Because you know, your mind, to make yourself correct, you always say this is wrong. Our time was great. You come from a mindset. To drop that, what I did was great, maybe then, good, maybe then, but not relevant. So to keep yourself relevant, you have to keep yourself open. And I realized that all my directors and makers were much younger. They were very new generation. And so I learned from them. I do exactly what they want me to do. And that process took a while because the battle is inside. That is one big thing. When somebody don't want you to use your hands or they don't want you to do too much, he says, how will I express?
You feel bound.
Bound.
Yeah.
But then to realize that is what is required and there's so much more you can do to make that shift and now to see. So for me to meet a director who says superb, I feel accomplished. And Adila Bejoy is very challenging because he never says superb. He just does a shot and moves away. So adu romba nanna pannena seriya pannena.
He's learnt very well from his mentor.
Yes,
that was that. He said rendu moonu thara good, very good.
Oh, look at
But towards the end of the schedule, yeah, but you know, so for me it was a challenge. So to have a director who is less expressive, for me it was most encouraging to have a director like Swathi. Super ma'am. Rendu perume நம்ம monitor பார்த்து super.
வேற யாருமே தேவையில்லை.
It worked for me because I needed somebody to, not that I needed praise, but as an artist I needed support. So if you know that you're on the right track, oh, நம்ம கரெக்டா பண்றோம், my director is feeling happy, then you just feel, oh, I think I'm doing okay.
Right.
So for me, that adjusting of temperament, then you know, they also to know me. I think I would ask Bejoy, okay, was it okay? I would make him say, yes, it was okay. So by the end, there were times when we did scenes, he says, good shot. He has said
That's
that
a
to
win.
me. So for me, I need my director to say, adu or insecurity as an actor. Confidence is also there, you know, it's coming along, but I need my director to say okay, because I want to know that I fit in their picture.
Right.
And I'm not going with my old picture. So that is a transition.
Like, and for you, was it the same way, or?
எல்லாரும் வந்து
அதாவது எல்லாருக்குமே வந்து டைரக்டர் வந்து ஓகேன்னு சொன்னா கூட இப்படி கொஞ்சம் பார்ப்போம் கண்ணுல. அது பெஸ்டா இருந்தா கூட அவங்களுக்கு வந்து because they have to move to the next shot. They don't have time to say yes, it's great. They can't pamper you every time. Definitely
If I may, with ma'am, what I experienced was the way I say ma'am or okay itself illa in the take okay illa po. Sometimes she knew
And
the
the
okay
style
or
of saying it we can understand.
She knows that it's an okay take or a
ஆமா.
not an
புரிஞ்சு போனப்போ another thing is
and
இப்போ
cut னு சொல்ல cut one more then அவங்களே சொல்லுவாங்க.
ஏன்னா வே ஆஃப் டாக்கிங் நமக்கு தெரியும் அவங்க மைண்டில் அது இருக்குன்னு அதர் எக்ஸ்பீரியன்ஸ்னால. இப்போ இன்னொன்று நீங்கள் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா நானே கற்றுக்கிறது ப்ராசஸ், இந்த லேர்னிங் ப்ராசஸில் ஒரு சொசைட்டிலேயே நீங்கள் பல பேர் வந்து முன்ன கத்தி எல்லாம் பேசுகிற மாதிரிலாம் இப்போ பேசுறதில்ல. ரொம்ப நிதானமாக தான் இருக்குது. அந்த மதர் இன்லா டாட்டர் இன்லா ரிலேஷன்ஷிப் கூட ரொம்ப நான் மரியாதை
நீங்க
கொடுக்குறேன்.
மெகா சீரிஸ்லாம் பார்க்கறது இல்லையா?
நான் பார்க்கறது இல்லை.
That's problem.
No, I have better things to do. பார்க்கறது இல்லை. என்னால முடியாது வேற. நியூஸை பார்த்து உட்காந்துக்கிறது நான். நீங்கள் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா அந்த பிஹேவியரே கொஞ்சம் சேஞ்ச் ஆயிருக்கு ஜென்ரலாக லைஃப்லேயும். நீங்கள் யூ ஷுட் முன்னேலாம் வந்து ஹவுஸ் மெய்டை வந்து வேற மாதிரி கூப்பிட்டுருப்போம். இப்போல்லாம் அக்கா வாங்க அக்கா போங்க அந்த ஒரு ரிலேஷன்ஷிப் வந்துருச்சு. கடையிலேயே நீங்கள் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா ஒரு ஸ்விக்கி யாராவது கொண்டு வந்தால் கூட அண்ணா எங்கே இருக்கீங்க உடனே நான் தான் வந்து எத்தனை பேருடி நான் பெற்றிருக்கேன் அண்ணா வந்தியா அண்ணா போனியான்னு இருக்கேன் காலையிலேருந்து நான். பிகாஸ் த கிட்ஸ் தே ஆர் வெரி டிஃப்ரெண்ட். இந்த சொசைட்டியே மாறி போச்சு. நம்மளோட எமோஷன்ஸை நம்ம வேற மாதிரி வேற மாதிரி காட்ட வேண்டியிருக்கு. அதை வந்து நமக்கு ஒரு டைரக்டர் வேணும். இவங்க எல்லாருமே கரெக்டாக பிடிச்சி கரெக்ட் அவங்களுக்கு வேண்டியது கிடைச்சிடுதுன்னா they will just stop it and they will move on because they got better things to do with the next actor. எனக்கு குட் சொல்லு எனக்கு நான் நன்னா பண்ணனான்னு சொல்லுன்னா அடி வாங்குவேன்.
I think there is some
This is their usual interjection. I must add that in the idla vandu there's one thing that she explored that we've not seen too much of is the humor. And as Kaveri, and that was a very tight line as well because you can't go into slapstick, but she's first time released out of like her regular environment and she's allowed to be a little looser, but then it's like one rubber band. She's got that guilt and she's got to go like so it's not like she's being funny, but what she's doing is funny.
Nice.
Body
right? Yeah, and that she just
அந்த நட அந்த உடம்பு அந்த பாடி
tightness and in that
see you're getting all the validation now, you know, this is like, you know, you're really happy now.
அவளையே பார்த்துட்டு இருந்தேன் நான்.
So to the directors again, you know, there is a style that you've evolved or styles that you've admired of other directors on the big screen. When you come to an OTT space, was it just going in the same way and doing what you do, or was there some kind of adaptation necessary in order to adapting necessary for like, because this is a freer format, you can do things that you probably cannot do on the screen because you're suddenly saying, oh, family audience in the paaka matanga, something like that, you know, all that kind of stuff. Was there a kind of a liberating feeling? I don't know, it's kind of a
I don't
maybe you're the wrong person to ask this question to, you know, because you know you're like no, I'm just kidding, Bejoy. So tell me.
I think the story kind of always decides the style. So I don't think the format of the medium matters.
Okay.
The story and what you want to do with the story, where you want it to reach, that automatically kind of sets the tone for the style that you will adapt. And because this is such a collaborative thing, we have other filmmakers also part of it, and Reshma who's show running it. So it was very important that all of us are in sync in how we are seeing it. I'm talking about just purely the treatment part of it. The right from the way we shot it, right from the music and everything. So luckily all the discussions and very healthy discussions that we had way before we went on the floor helped set the tone, set the style for how we're looking at it.
I think personally off late what I've been not enjoying so much about the filmmakers I love is a certain self-indulgence that they are putting into their own films. So that's kind of taking me back from my immersiveness, even like top directors of Hollywood and world cinema, and I try, like, no, that is a learning that I've got in my last 2-3 years where I try to put in what's required for the film and for the audience consumption rather than kind of somewhere getting my own either it's adapting from some filmmaker I like or if it's something that I think it's very me. I want to lose that in this process and staying true to the story and making the audience enjoy what we're trying to tell kind of took the front seat for the
That's
film.
really interesting that you say that because, like, let's say Bejoy, right? I watch his films because I like his style. Like, there's a particular signature there. You're saying you don't want that signature.
I think if he's telling the story and you like his signature, it's good. But if he's going to tell his signature, is not. That's what I'm.
That's what. You
overtly
mean.
saying
Overtly,
this is,
kind of, you know, saying
this.
because I have to do this.
Yes.
Okay. All right.
that
Okay.
again is also perspective possibly,
Right.
Yes.
Right. And for you?
It was a process that of this collaboration really helped, and I did have in mind that because all of these years of wanting to do something, I didn't want to have the first directoritis, like the first time that you want to put everything in it. I was a little conscious that be you know, like I did tell myself, to watch myself to see if I'm doing it only because this demanded it, this story demanded it. And of course, there were places where I did indulge. I did Reshma and I will constantly have that discussion where she'd be like, "Are you sure you want this?" I know I'm going out, okay, but let me try it. Let me have this, but then we'll look at it in post. And without a doubt, most of the times my indulgences went out. I didn't make it beyond the cut, but it was good to explore that. And I knew that what serves the story is what will remain.
My God, everyone here is so sorted and like everybody's so
We've been through 3 years, 3 COVID waves.
Yeah.
We've seen it all. This project has seen any enemy that it can see, and we've still
so
got through.
zen and mature, and everybody's saying such nice, lovely
I
things.
think because we all believe that it's what you see, right? So when you see something that's nice, it makes you feel that everybody involved in it is all great. If there was anything that was not nice, then we'll say, oh, that part of it was not good.
Right.
But here what we saw was like everything is nice, so everything looks happy. Everything looks happy because that feeling of what you created together feels happy.
Right. One thing I wanted to ask is, whenever there is this tendency to tell an empowering story, of course this depends on the writing and all that kind of stuff, but there is also this tendency to leave people with a message, right? That's a very Tamil cinema thing, that you want to give a message pretty overtly. How did you guys play around with that aspect? That is, you want something to get across, but you don't want it to be a placard or like a very preachy and kind of a thing. I think that's a very tricky balance, right? Of course, like I said, it should be first in the writing, but beyond that, what did you guys
I think all our a lot of discussions on the script was mainly on these points, where we felt some things were overwritten. Those are the things that we actually hammered it out and said that how can we approach this differently, and those are the discussions I remember very clearly with Reshma, because when you're writing, you tend to, like you said, kind of want to kind of spell it out a lot of things, but you're kind of discounting the fact that you have this amazing pool of talent who's going to come in and make it their own and say it in their own way. So then you have to leave that room for them also. You have to leave some room for the DOP. You have to leave some room for the editor.
Right.
So those are the discussions that we used to have. And I think, like you rightly said, the writing was so important, so integral to the way we wanted to convey these messages without it being a message. So that, I think, in the writing only, it was quite solid, quite sorted. But yet all of us did contribute towards this, and all those healthy discussions really did help. I hope once you watch it, you'll know. So
I think there was no conclusiveness in the message. It was more of a reflective, whether we know what is going on around us or not. They made us question it rather than tell us this is what. As a reader of the script, I felt that, and I thought that should be carried out as the director too. And like you said, we have these actors who, with just their eyes, they're able to, tell pain or joy or anything, or trust anything. They're able to do it without lines. So there was no telling much.
I remember in the first episode, she had like a whole 1 page of dialogue. Madhoo had one full page of dialogue that she's having with her husband, and we took out the entire thing out.
Yeah.
It was a conversation between the husband and her, but in the final scene, it was just the husband talking. It's just her reaction. That's it. Because the reaction was saying everything.
Right.
What she was trying to say was all that was being said, and I thought that was a much better way to. So that's just one example. I'm saying that
Right.
it worked out.
You said about talking with the eyes, right? I just saw the trailer once outside before this, and there's one shot of you that's absolutely spectacular. I don't even know the context for that shot, but there's something, your eyes have, you're just tearing up a bit, and
Thank you so much.
it's just like, I don't know what it is, but I'm like, I want to get into that scene and see what it is.
Wow.
Thank you so much. I'm very flattered.
No,
Thank you.
it's just, it's good work, I'm assuming, because the thing is, it's like if somebody can grab you with just that one, look or whatever, you kind of think, but have you seen her work?
Of course.
Yeah.
Bharatam.
Was it because of pressure, or you have already seen her
No,
work?
I had Bharatam is one of my all-time favorite films.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, I was so excited to be a part of this team, to be learning as you watch. The spontaneity that Lakshmi ma'am has, she'll be joking around, but and then it's action, she just transforms.
Right.
And it's just like magical watching that. And earlier somebody was asking, how did you believe that this was your party? Like, she's so like youthful. And I was like, that's because she's a brilliant actor. She makes you believe in that scene that she is your grandmother. And the same with Madhoo ma'am. Like, she's like an emotional sponge. There was this one scene where we are standing across each other, and I was doing something, and it was a bit of like a mirroring thing, and she immediately picked that up, and it really did become like a mirror. And I was so amazed at how she just kind of saw what I was doing and this built up on that. So there was always a lot of wonderful give and take that was happening between the artists, and it was such an enriching experience for me to be on this set.
Madhu's leaving this interview really happy. You know?
I'm always happy, but I
Madhu is always happy.
No, but I'm saying because you were saying that this is on set, Bejoy didn't give you much validation or whatever it is.
No. His style.
I know.
We got
I'm just
accustomed
kidding.
to each other.
I'm just kidding. It's just because there's so much of happy validation happening
She
here.
has
So
practiced happiness. It's like a violin,
you
right?
must have taught her. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So,
Practice happiness.
Can I say
Always.
what was my first introduction to Auntie, Julie Auntie, Lakshmi Auntie?
yeah.
My first adult film, which my mother allowed me because it was drive-in cinema in Mumbai. So my mom and
Was
my
Julie?
I was Julie, and it was A-rated film, but my mom thought it was okay. So that's my first movie which I was allowed to watch.
You know what? That's actually a
Good.
mom telling you a message.
Yeah.
You know? That's like, listen, this is what happens. You know, that's what it is.
Whatever, but how can I forget? You know, it's like you can't forget the first.
Yeah.
So she is in my mind, indelible memory.
So weirdly, my first time I ever went to a film set was Phool Aur Kaante when she was
Oh my God.
the
This
first
is like a
time I
chain
ever
reaction.
went to a film set, and we were there and they were shooting this song, Ajay Devgan and her, and within 5 minutes we got thrown out because there was like a nice intimate love song. So they said they don't want anyone on set. But that was the first time we were like watching the shoot, and I saw her there, saw Ajay Devgan there, and we got thrown out.
For me, it was Rudra. So it was a
My movie.
cop.
Yeah. Wow. This is like some
Yeah.
predestined.
Major Santhy, right?
You have a story as well?
No, Swathi's story is different.
Yeah, we have.
Swathi, her grandfather வந்து
It was the right
Sivan Bay Lakshmanan, பெரிய producer அவரு. He has produced இதே வீணை எல்லாம்.
Okay.
I've seen her
as a kid,
when,
I know her. From then, all of a sudden, ஒரு gap வந்தது. She has left, and we have not met, and even her mother and all. It's a news to you, right?
Yeah.
We have not met because we were regularly visiting, and her grandfather has presented me. I was having Mahavishnu and Lakshmi because அதில் பூஜை பண்ணிட்டு இருந்தது. He said, இவ்வளோ பெருசு வச்சு பண்ணக்கூடாது, தினமும் நைவேத்தியம் வைக்கணும் அப்படின்னு. Then I gave it to him. So நீங்க பண்ணிக்கோங்க, நான் பண்ணலை. Then he gave me one Pulayar. Pulayar is with me still. I keep the mantrangal adu. I visit him always regularly. And her mother used to be my friend and all that. All that, it's all gone because we also become very busy with our own selves. And they have their own lives. When she came, but she didn't tell me. எனக்கு பயங்கர கோவம். She didn't tell me. ஏதோ பேசுறா நடிக்கிறா தடாபடான்றாளேன்ட்டு போயிட்டேன். Suddenly one day when we are shooting, you know my grandfather. அந்த மாதிரி தான் சீனு கூட சொல்லும். சீனு கூட அப்படிதான் திடீர்னு சொல்லுவான், இந்த மாதிரி ஆக்ட் பண்ணோம் தெரியுமா அப்படின்னு. அந்த மாதிரி she said suddenly, you know my grandfather. I said, who's that அப்படின்னு. என்ன இப்படி சொல்ற, நீ யாரோட பொண்ணெல்லாம் அப்புறம் கதை சொல்றான். நான் சொன்னேன்,
Yeah, because of some reaction that she gave, and I remember that from the time that I met her. Yeah.
That's how she directs also. எல்லாம் சொல்லிட்டு திடீர்னு இங்கேருந்து அங்கேருந்து எங்கேருந்து எடுத்து சொல்லுவான். நீ எங்கேருந்து எடுத்து சொல்ற, என்ன புரியுது. No, this is how we have to go. You know this. Okay, one more அப்படின்ட்டு போயிட்டே இருப்பா.
And one more ன்னு சொல்லிட்டு போயிடுவேன்.
One more தான். Thinking is very fast for her. நான் அப்புறம் தான் ஒரு ஸ்டேஜில் நான் நினச்சேன், ஐம் சாரி இன்னைக்கு தான் சொல்கிறேன் நான். ஒன் ஸ்டேஜ் ஆஃப் த ஃபில்ம் ஐ வாஸ் ஜஸ்ட் திங்கிங், ஐ மீ த மதர், 3 kids. த எல்டர் ஒன் ஐ டோன்ட் ஹேவ் டு ட்ரெயின். அது பாட்டுக்கு சாப்பாடு எடுத்து போட்டுன்னு தானே சாப்பிட்டு அதே ஹோம்ஒர்க் பண்ணி ஒழுங்காக போயிடும். நோ ப்ராப்ளம்.
That's Bejoy.
That's Bejoy.
செகண்ட் ஒன், வாடா கண்ணா, ஹவ் ஆர் யூ? ஓகே அம்மா, ஐம் ஃபைன் அம்மா. அம்மா ஐம் ஓகே அம்மா.
He's the sandwich, huh?
தலைப்ப விடுறா, தலைப்ப விடுறா.
Good boy.
He's a good boy. தலைப்ப விடு கண்ணா, சும்மா அம்மா அம்மான்னு பார்த்து அது பாட்டுக்கும் போயிடும். இன்னொன்னு இருக்கும், எங்கடி போற, எங்க போடுற, வா பாடி. That one is such a one. And மறுநாள் she'll come as if this film and this direction somebody's, it's not mine ங்கிற மாதிரி she'll be walking through. We'll be working with someone else. she with her tote bag, she'll be walking through as if that is somebody. Hi, அப்படின்ட்டு கலர் கலரா தலையை வச்சுன்னு வந்துடும். சொல்லுவேன், இது என்ன இது வேற மாதிரி இருக்கு அப்படின்னுட்டு. Just imagine, we three were in the section of the mothers. We were watching our kids. We three were watching our kids. ஒன்னொன்னு ஒரு டைப் இருக்கு அப்படி.
This is a complete role reversal, you know.
Yeah.
Like the directors are supposed to treat the actors like kids. And this is like the other way around. It's just
That's
kind
such
of
generosity from.
yeah. No, but I, you know, if this camaraderie translates to screen, you know, I'm really looking forward to something nice. So thank you, all of you, and really looking forward to this. And I don't know if I should say this, but welcome back. You know, I really, you know, I think yeah, because I think it's you know people with all this experience and you know with all this thing, I think they should just be there all the time and keep acting, and that you know that I think it's great to have you back, and all of you, all the best.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
பல்லாவரம் ஃபோக்கஸ் மென்ஸ்வேர் இப்போது மேடவாக்கத்திலும் ஓப்பனிங் ஆஃபர் டி-ஷர்ட் வெறும் 19, ஷர்ட்ஸ் 79 மற்றும் அனைத்து ஆடைகளும் 799க்குள் கிடைக்கும்.